Welcome back to our Bluesy Water channel. I just want to do a quick video on some lung protocols. I recently got the flu, and one of the things that I'm very mindful of is if it starts going deep in the lungs, and that's where the warning bells go off and time to do some serious effective treatment. So I want to bring up our lung protocol chart. Okay, so I'm not going to go through all this in great depth, but this protocol right here, nebulizer with essential oils, Boozy Boost, Colloidal Silver. I did this when it started going in my lungs, and I did it with eucalyptus oil. I did not have colloidal silver on hand, and it actually, for the first time, did not work. So essentially what I did, and by the way, you always use a saline base. And if you don't know what a nebulizer is, by the way, Google nebulizer. Essentially, it atomizes whatever you put in the cup, and it breaks it up, the medicine, we'll call it, and it goes deep into the lungs. It makes it into very small particles, and it can go into the villi. That's why a nebulizer works really well. So the next night, I actually used thyme essential oils to the eucalyptus, and I did have some colloidal silver, and that pretty much knocked it out of the lungs. When you get a respiratory infection, if it starts going deep in the lungs, that's where you need to be concerned. Essentially, once it came out of the lungs, it became like a bad cold, but you can get in trouble if you get deep in the lungs, sometimes going into pneumonia and things like that. So essentially, the takeaway on this video is if you're going to do the nebulizer and it's really heavy duty, thyme oil is probably the most aggressive essential oil for microbials. Colloidal silver is a good mix. Bluesy Boost is essentially Bluesy water in a more concentrated form. But you want to do this, try that if the eucalyptus doesn't work, and you can Google essential antimicrobial essential oils. Oregano oil is another one that's pretty powerful. Okay, the rest of these therapies, we can send you a copy of the chart. You can do, for instance, whole body vibration with rapid release, which is a great therapy for treating all the organs, including the lungs, breaking up congestion. And you could also do the lymphatic system, which is very important, and really detoxify all the organs. Hydrogen therapy is excellent to mitigate inflammation. So even though I still have inflammation with this illness, and a certain amount of inflammation is necessary, fire, fever, for healing, this will keep it from going haywire, particularly in the lungs. So it did actually keep the lung infection in abeyance, but I don't like it when it's in there and I want to knock it out. This mission coil also is an antimicrobial therapy. You can Google this and follow the link here. We have a Dropbox, but mission coil and ozone therapy are highly antimicrobial. We always recommend them together for infections, viruses. And with ozone therapy, you have the rectal for blood systemic, and then the ear and nasal would be for sinuses and upper lymph. PMF is just a microcellular pump. This is more macrocellular. This is microcellular. And that can, again, help break up congestion. So anytime you have an infection in the lungs, if you use these tools to break up the congestion, it's going to help. It's not necessarily coming in for the heavy duty kill punch, but that's where ozone and mission, and in this case nebulizer, is your really knockout punch therapies. Essential oils are highly antimicrobial if you get the right ones. Okay, trauma release is important also because a lot of times there might be trauma memories associated with the illness. And when you're doing the lung, let's say rapid release with a vibration machine, you're actually treating the lungs, for instance, you're working on grief. So anytime you do this therapy, it's a great therapy for generally emotional release. And then we have additional therapies, somatic therapies for essentially breaking up freeze trauma states in the body. There's a term in Chinese medicine called qi stagnation, which basically you could associate with a river that's blocked, lack of flow, comes in different forms, literally like trauma freeze. So generally, anything that's frozen, unresolved, can contribute to illness. This can be in trauma memories. People who have a lot of trauma can have a lot of health issues. If you understand the physical energy body in relation to emotion, you have a big leg up in healing. Alrighty, so once again, we're trying to keep any respiratory flu from burying deep in the lungs. You can Google using a nebulizer with essential oils. I think there's one website that has some more information on this. There's not a lot of information. So appreciate it. If you have any questions, contact me, Andrew@bluesywater.com. Thank you.